13 energy centers in and outside of your body, below your feet and above your head. They're called your chakras. Your chakras govern your reality. They make your life happen. They're fueled by your subconscious thought, your life force, your action, sexual energy that exists in all of us, creating from the vibration that flows within us. Constant, consistent creation, directed by the choices that we make. You have the right to be who you're supposed to be, so what's it gonna be? You are the master of your vibration. Feed your mind for elevation. There is no time for contemplation. The time is now. So what's it gonna be?
Giving thanks for all things, great and small, for things that create and sustain our happiness in the form of all experiences, lessons, and gifts, equaling positive and perceived negative. We are grateful for people, places, and opportunities being revealed unto us, and the opportunity to unlearn habits that no longer serve our highest good. We are grateful for experiences that support new understanding and growth. We give thanks. Calling upon the essence of ancestors and spirit guides that stand beside, behind, and before us, leading the way. We honor you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We summon your presence and grace with wonder in our hearts and glory in our mouth. We honor you. We offer our thanksgiving. We offer our respect and our love. We ask that you guide our thoughts and deeds as appropriate, that our actions reflect the highest good. We pray a yielding spirit to hear your sacred inspiration. We pray a clear mind to acknowledge your inspiration. We pray an unadulterated will to fulfill your inspirations, knowing that we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. Moving forward in our everyday habits, counting the blessings and acknowledging the continual support. We thank you for your presence in our lives. Ashe, Amullah, Mayat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are so grateful and thankful to be here for another sacred service of the grand rising of the Matriarch. I am Minister Reddy, Precious Aki Rah Rah Rah. I am here with my beloved sisters, Minister Ojeyemi, as well as Minister SEG 13. We are so thankful to be here with you at this sacred service, in this divine space, in this divine time. The grand rising of the Matriarch. There is so much to that. There is so much history. There's so much to know about who the matriarchs are, what the matriarchs represent, and the role that we are to play in the grand rising of the matriarch. as we have learned, the most important step is to know who you are and to have a relationship with your own mother. And to be honest with yourself about where you are and who you are. And not to beat yourself up, but just to be clear on where it is you stand so that progress may be made. So when we think about knowing ourselves, I think self-worth will be a great place to start. When we look into society, when we look into the media, we're not really seeing a lot of that. Because self-worth comes with how you carry yourself. We spoke about honor and grace. And that comes with self-worth, how you carry yourself, if you think about yourself, how you handle yourself, how you deal with others. Self-worth is so important. Even myself, being a master vibration self-healing practitioner, being a minister and a practitioner of I-ready healing, I too have to check myself, check my self-talk, and get to the root of where any negative talk is coming from. I would say that some of that stems from childhood trauma. I know that my fellow sisters and ministers will agree. We all have experiences in which we still carry within us that we are healing from. So this service is here to assist, to inspire, and to guide those who are looking to get back to who they truly are, even if they're not sure what that looks like. So I mentioned personally my own self-talk. Lately, I've been having to do mirror work because even as experienced as I may be, as learned as I may be, those I've studied under, some who were considered to be great teachers, I still have to get in the mind of, I'm okay. I am great. I am precious. I am worthy. I am worthy. I don't have to be perfect to do the work that I have been ordained or charged or commissioned to do. And I, Minister Ojeyemi, I remember you said, if you reach a state of perfection, you're no longer needed.
Yes, because we're all here for perfection. We all come to recognize the divinity within ourselves. And when you reach perfection, what else is there for you there? Then it's time to leave the planet for another soul to reincarnate or to incarnate. And that's a Buddhist teaching. They call it nirvana, samadhi. It's when you reach that self-realization. That's when the Buddha, you see the Buddha with the knot, and the long ears. That means that Buddha has reached self-realization. And when that Buddha reaches self-realization, or when you reach that perfected state, what other state is there? There's no other state to reach. You reach the state that you come to reach. You're off the karmic wheel.
That reminds me of something you said. Yes, I apologize.
When talking about self-worth, you know, there's a sister. We've had many, many lifetimes together. And I'm for Black Girl Magic. I'm gonna build you up. I'm gonna help you. I'm just gonna give all the inspiration that I can give. And we've been together through a lot of the same schools of thought. We took Master Reiki teacher together. We took classes together. She taught me about tantric yoga. Recently, she invited me to a forum. So it's my sister. You know, I know I'm not going to join the forum, but she asked me to come. So sure. So we on the forum, and the lady is, you know, saying some things, and I felt myself giving a lot. I'm like, and she's like, oh, I said, oh, no, let me go back. You know, I'm not here to give, I'm here to receive. So I just got back. And after, you know, everything was over there, they gave the price. I'm like, oh, well, I'm not really interested. And so my sister said, I'll call you later. I'm like, okay, well, anyway, she called me back, and she said, how was it? I'm like, well, you know all those things. So did you really need that? And then so she kind of like paused. And so she said, well, can I share something with you? I'm like, sure. She says, you know, all those times when you would tell me I could do those things and I could do everything that you was doing, that I could do it. And she said, I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel like I was good enough to do that. I just didn't feel that I could do it. I'm like, she said, I don't have a high school. She said, no, I don't have a college degree. And I was just, I didn't feel worthy. And she just kept saying it. I was like, oh my goodness, my heart dropped. You know, here's this sister has all the gifts. I mean, I say all of them, she has all of them. And I was like, well, I just started apologizing. I said, I apologize to you if I've tried to, you know, in any way. She says, no. Thank you for inspiring me. She said, but I wasn't ready to be vulnerable enough to tell you that. And she was telling me how her and her mother hadn't talked for a whole year, how she didn't want to tell her family that she was in a state of where she needed them. So she said when she went through this forum, that helped her. So I'm like, whatever you need. That showed me right then and there about that state of not being worthy and not allowing ourselves to be vulnerable with each other. So now me and this sister's been together many, many lifetimes, and we've been together 8 or 9 years. What does that say for a sister who wants to say that I don't feel worthy, or who wants to say that I'm not ready, who wants to say that, well, you know, I see you do it, but that don't mean that I can do it. You know, this is where the state we are as sisters. We're afraid to be vulnerable. We're afraid to be naked. But I go back to the emperor who came out with no clothes on. A lot of people call him a fool, but in actuality, there's a big spiritual thing there, because if you can come outside, if you can show yourself in your vulnerability state, as you said before, you know, if you can show yourself, well, I'm not perfect, not trying to be, as Queen Holder Hathor says, not perfection, excellence.
I like that.
So often we walk around here, I like to call us dressed up dolls. Where we get our hair done, we get our nails done, we get our makeup done. Like they say, what do they call it? Beat your face? When you get the beat?
Yeah.
You know, and you get your eyelashes and you get your toes and stuff polished, but yet you go back. What did you say? Worthy. Am I really worthy? How do I feel about myself? Do I adore myself? Do I worship? Do I self-deification? You know. So, and like I said, like I heard you say, as you stated about even yourself, even me. You know, I'm going to let you speak, but because I want your opinion about when you need a sister, and you know, and sometimes we bully each other into thinking that, oh, girl, I'm okay, but we never really are okay.
Yes, I think it's becoming like an automatic response when someone asks you how you are or how you're feeling to just say, "Oh, I'm okay," or "I'm fine," or "Great," you know. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that response, but it's just, again, like you said, having a space where you can be vulnerable and be honest with a particular circle, even if it's only two or three, even if it's just one other person that you can talk to and show that vulnerability. Like we have this mask, and a lot of times the mask does come in the form of getting your face beat and having the nails and the hair and things of that nature, because society has attached that to having a sense of worthiness. And I myself, I'm not really big on nails, and I've never really been big on like wigs and weaves and stuff like that, because I have a lot of hair, and sometimes people have a lot of hair and they still choose to wear weaves and wigs. They call it protective style, whatever, that's your business. But I have myself been going through my own experiment where usually I'm big about getting my toes done more than anything. I just want to have my toes done. And I'm not saying not to get a pedicure. I'm talking about just feeling the need where you have to have polish on your toes in order to feel complete, because you are worried about what somebody's thinking, what somebody's looking at your toes. Because if you're at home and you're home all day, you're not really concerned about it, a polish on your toes. You may be concerned about your nails and your toenails being filed, being clean. That's just regular hygiene. That's just what you're already supposed to be on anyway. But the idea that you have to have these things in order to be worthy, or for a person to you to appear a certain way to someone else, is just bollocks. It's bullcrap. And I'm going currently right now through my own experience. Like, when's the last time I like have not gotten my toes on, like went and paid somebody to do my toes? Like, because I have all the stuff to do it here at the house. I have the files. I got all kind of different files. I got this kind of file. I got that kind of file. I got this kind of buffer. I even have the little machine that will take it. I have all of that. You know what I'm saying? Do we like to treat ourselves? It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. It's just the intention. Do you still feel worthy when your nails and toes are not done? If not, then there's something that needs to be looked into. That's something that has to be looked at. I understand presentation again, but that just goes back to hygiene. Your nails and your toes can be very much presentable when they clean and they're cut down and they're filed or whatever. Again, no shade on nail polishes and anything like that. But there is some shade, because I've done some more research, and this is a whole nother show. But the things that we're putting on our nails and the things that we're putting on our toes are, for the most part, disease causing, cancer causing, have chemicals, and have things that are soaking into our bloodstream that we don't even need to have. Now, if you can go ahead and make a product and promise me that it ain't got this, that, and the third of it. I mean, even the acetone that we use to take the polish off, all of this stuff is not meant to be on our skin. And our skin is our biggest organ that absorbs everything. On top of that, we're breathing this stuff in. The next thing that you breathing something in is like you eating it. It's just going right up in all this, hitting your bloodstream. You like eating that. It's like it's in your mouth. Matter of fact, what you can smell, you can sometimes taste, in a sense, because it's part of the senses. So the self-worth, like you just plain, like you say, come outside naked. And of course, we're not advising people to go outside naked, because you might go to jail, because they got a law for that. But
Well, I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't like. If I do go to the nail shop, I go to the nail shop. I just get a straight manicure and straight pedicure. You know, Be clear, no, just bucket. You know, for years I didn't know my worth. You know, and I'll be the first to tell sisters, I didn't know my worth. You know, I felt like because I didn't have a high school diploma or I didn't have perfect diction that I didn't know my worth. And who would want to hear what I had to say? And it took me going to a retreat, a 4-day retreat, Sacred Woman, going through the gateways of Sacred Woman in 4 days, 15, 16 women, and Queen of Four needed some help. And I helped. You know, at the time, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just helping because, when sisters go through a healing crisis and when sisters go through a healing, it's totally, I mean, it's a lot of stuff. So, and when I got back, and my sister friend was talking, I saw myself there. I was like, oh, and I had a Native American teacher. There was a woman who knew her self-worth, and she instilled for us to know our self-worth. And she was all about doing the shadow work, going into that root chakra, going into that sacral, going into that solar plexus, and going into and really looking. She's all about the root cause, getting to the root cause, the point of origin, and karma. Those are the things that she instilled into us. So everything has a root cause. And for us, the self-worth starts within our mother's womb. You know, it's whatever your mother experienced, you experience. You're in the room, so whatever she's feeling, you're feeling. Maybe she's having a bad day. Maybe she's having morning sickness. Maybe she's fighting with your father. Or, they're going through things on the job. And maybe she's not happy that she's pregnant. All those things are being fed directly to you. And maybe she doesn't know her self-worth. So who knows? Yeah, and then when you're born, you birth, and you come through that birth canal. And once they put that light on you, you have no remembrance of any of the things that, she's experienced, but it's still inside of you because it's ingested. And then, like I said, whatever she's experienced or whatever she's going through, she's feeding that to you. And then you have your other siblings, and you have your father, and you have your parents. All those things are being given to you. Be a little perfect girl, and don't do this, and keep your legs closed, or you fat. All those things are being fed to you. Never you're beautiful. Never that you can be whatever you can go to be. You can be all that you can be, and how precious and golden your womb and your vagina is. How precious you are. How loving. So if you have not been exposed to those things, if you've been exposed to chastising and putting down, that's a part of your worth. That's a part of your worthy. And until you can break those vicious cycles, because that's what they are, vicious cycles, and you really can't get mad at the mother because does she know her worth? Did her mother know her worth? So a lot of this is generational. And then you have to, we're not going to do with the media part, but just when you come around other sisters, and if you might be beautiful or, you might look a certain way, then you have to deal with that. But that's because we don't know ourselves. We've never been taught to say that, you know what, you're beautiful. You can be and have and do as much as you want. There's nothing unstoppable. You have the power to be whoever you want to be. You are great. You were born great. You were born divine. I love you. My mother never told me that she loved me. I knew she did. But it's later on in years till we start hugging each other. So you see those cycles. There's this book, I just spoke about it earlier. I'm going to try to find the name of that book. But it shows a woman with a metal helmet on with a lock. We're still into that mental slavery. We're still into that thing of what we were told. And breaking that. That means we have, master vibration light. We have the master chakra cleanse. When you go through this chakra cleanse, it breaks a lot of shackles. Oh, yeah. It shows you exactly where you are and who you are. So going through that, and not only that, being willing, it takes discipline to say, you know what, I'm worthy. And yeah, we have some song about worthy. It takes discipline, it takes a courage and strength and wisdom to say, you know what, I'm worthy. No matter what you say, no matter what you feel, no matter what you think, no matter what you say to me, I'm worthy.
I can totally relate to that. I remember many times you inspiring and encouraging me and telling me that I can do what you do and I can do what she do on a level of upliftment. I'm not talking about a bunch of trash. I'm talking about the power that we have, even the healing power or the channel that we allow ourselves to be for healing and wisdom to come through to aid others on their healing journey. And there has been times when I feel, I haven't been doing this long enough. So, there's something more I need to get. I need to get what they got over there too. I need to, don't get me wrong, continuing education, if you will, for lack of a better term in this moment, that is great and that is fine. But it can lead you on a spiral where you just end up being misused and misguided. And oftentimes you could be misused and misguided by people who don't even have it together like you think they do. Mm-hmm. They aren't any better than you. They're still on a journey of their own self-worth and their own self-healing. And that journey is a continuum. It doesn't end. That's like that point of perfection that you talked about. It just, you just, once you get there, like, what are you, there's nothing else to learn. This life, this course, it's a learning. It's a learning experience. So if you just know it all, it's nothing else for you to know.
Yeah. I love what you said when you said that when you meet the teacher and, but they're not going to tell you that they're still learning. They're not going to tell you they're still growing. They want to make you think that they got it all down pat and they're going to give it to you. No. I'm the first to tell you, I go through just like you go through. I feel just like you feel. I have things to overcome just like you do. And the same things I can do, you can do too. And see, the mothers are no respecter of persons. They don't operate like that. They operate on harmony. They operate on justice. They operate on balance. They love their daughters. They love their children. So it's no respect of person. Your experiences might be a little bit different. Your experiences will gain you wisdom. Your experiences gain you power. But the mothers, we are created equal. So when I big a sister up, I'm truly coming from my heart. I want you to have the best. I want you to know that you can do. I'm no more powerful than you are. So why would I sit here and fake the fuck like I got it all together here? And then something happens and you see me, you see the true me, then guess what? I'll top it off the pedestal. I'm not going to allow anybody to put me on a pedestal. And that's what we do. Mm-hmm. We put people on pedestals, and then when they fall off that pedestal, they didn't do anything. We just didn't use that word discernment. Yes. I have definitely been there in regards to putting people on a pedestal and just being, even now as a self-practitioner, I feel because, and which is an illusion, that okay, I'm going through it. I had to get in the ring as I minister solutions and I minister SEG 13 would say. So who am I to teach somebody else, or who am I to call myself a healer, or my life isn't perfect, and then we go with the perfect again.
It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. And what is your ideal of perfection? Where are you getting that from? What does that look like to you? Who taught you that? And I have to go back and tell. I have to work. It's a work. I have to get my mind right, as people would say. I have to check myself before I wreck myself, because you taught me about inertia, and when you start allowing yourself to just go deep and you get stuck. Then you don't do nothing. You don't even do your self-work, never mind sharing what you have been ordained, commissioned, and charged to do. You don't even do that. You just be like, I don't know. Well, I ain't worthy enough to be telling nobody or sharing. I can't heal nobody because I ain't all the way healed. And like you said, it's a vicious cycle. That self-worth is serious.
Yeah. I really want my sisters to really know that we were born worthy. We were born from the divine matriarch. That's the word right there. Anything else does not exist. So I say self-deity, self-deification, digging yourself up, honoring yourself, loving yourself unconditionally, just loving yourself with no judgment. We judge ourselves, we beat ourselves up. No more of that.
I see.
No more. Stand on our big two spiritual feet. There's something that you don't, when you look in the mirror, you talk about that mirror. The mirror is a reflection of who we are. So when we're looking in the mirror, do we truly see our divine selves? Or do we see the physical form that we love so well? Do you see that liquid golden body that you are? Do you see that black dot that you are? Because this physical form is just a bodysuit. It's just something that you came down here in to recognize your divinity. You came down here in to clean up your karma, to resurrect the divinity, to resurrect the mother within you, and to get off the karmic wheel. That's the purpose of what we're here for. Now, I tell you, you're going to have some, as the principles of polarity, you're going to have the positive and the negative, but that's the balance, that's that harmony, because if everything is good, then how would you know where you are? If every day of your life, everything was perfect and it was rosy, then when something comes up, nothing comes up for you. So you think, oh, I'm spiritual, I got it going on. But then when something comes, it shows you where you are on the journey. So I embrace the adversity. I embrace the positive. I embrace the negative. Because guess what? I am the creator that's created my creation. Nothing can come to me because I created that. My thoughts, my words, my actions, my deeds, and my reactions determine what goes on into my life, my world, and my affair. I have to, as you say, do the work. I have to sit in that space to say, I am disciplined enough to, no matter what comes, no matter how it looks, no matter how it hurts, no matter what it reveals to me, to rise above this. To rise means, the etymology of rise means to rise direct, to restore. So we're here to resurrect. We're here to restore ourselves to the divinity, to the mother. But before we can deal with that relationship, we have to deal with the worthiness of who we are. Our mother, our grandmother, our great-grandmother, and great-great-great-great, until we can all break that cycle and know we're worthy. We're beautiful. We come in all shapes, forms, sizes, and colors. You know, if you really look at all the pictures of all the deities, they all had big breasts, big stomachs, buttocks. That's who we are. That's what we carry. So love on yourself. Big yourself up. Honor yourself. Celebrate. Adore and worship.
Yes.
So, what?
Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It was something that you posted in our private group. When you have allowed others to determine your self-worth and you no longer see it for yourself, then someone comes to inspire you to see your worth and you find it hard to do. For so many of our sisters, this is their existence. Breaking the chains and shackles on the mind takes deep discipline. It takes strength, courage, and wisdom to be worthy of self. To be worthy of self without all of the external factors that you attach to yourself, which you have been duped into believing that is a part of your self-worth. When you said the golden fluid, that which is inside of you, when you're in the mirror and you're looking at yourself, it's not just your physical thing. When you look into your eyes, they say with your eyes, you can see into the soul of somebody. You know, you ever look into the eyes of somebody who's crazy, who's off mentally? Yeah, it look crazy. You can see it. You be like, whoa! You don't want to hold their stare. Like you just look away. Like, oh, I can't work with that. No, you can see it. And a lot of times, that's why we don't want to see ourselves, because we don't want to deal with our own little crazy. Because it's there. It's there. And the deep part, for me, what you said, that these feelings of not being worthy could come from my mother. And I thought about my mother. And my mother was raised in a big family, and she was a middle child. And she used to get picked on. She used to get picked on a lot. Like my aunts and uncles would do wild stuff, like blow black pepper up her nose and just real wild stuff. Like, and she would get made fun of at home. She would get made fun of at school. They call her Alberta VO5. They call her Coke bottles because she had big glasses. Like she tells me all of these things, and I know as of today they have affected her because I see how they have affected me. For a long time, I was the only child from my mother. My father has many of children. He was a Rolling Stone. But for my mother, it was just me and her till I was about 13, 14, right before I became, somewhere in between my preteens and teenage years. I think I was 13 when my mom had twins. But I, too, as a child, I used to get picked on, and my mom used to be like real overprotective, like, don't be saying that to my child because she's going to have a complex. Like she used to like be very overprotective of me, so she didn't want me to experience these same things I experienced with her as the same experience that she experienced. But yet and still, a lot of that I was still carrying with me. And I was like, even like when people are bigging me up and they're like, oh, you're so pretty, or, oh, you should be a model, or oh, you can do this, or oh, you can do that. I'm like, I don't really see that. Like, yeah, that feels good that you said that. And yeah, I guess I could see it for a little second. But I'm like, they just gassing me. I don't really know if that's for real. I don't know. Yeah, it's just that is so deep to me. Even now, like I said, I question my healing abilities. I question it. I have to, again, check myself before I wreck myself. And I have to affirm who I am. I have to affirm who my ancestors were and that I am that. I am all of that. I am all of that. As they say, I'm all that in a bag of chips. Yes, I am all that. People are like, oh, you think you all that? Why should I not? And why should you think you all that?
That's right.
Because we are all of that. We are made of literally all of that.
Yes.
Period, as they say.
It's going within and tapping that power, going to the root cause, going to the root of that and seeing it. That's why that mirror, that's why that self-discipline is so important. Are you willing? Are you able? The reason I wrote that is because that used to be me. I didn't know my self-worth or my value. I tell people all the time, I still have to go in and look at that. I'm a child of sexual molestation, so there's a lot of trauma with that. I have to break through trauma. I have to break through trauma, like you said. I fought every day of the week of school. I fought. If you said something I thought that you didn't like, I'm ready to fight. You know, so breaking all those cycles, breaking all of that, saying, no, that's not who I am. Being in a state of wholeness and willing to reside in wholeness, no matter what someone says to you, no matter how they feel about you, no matter what they do, staying in a place of wholeness and not giving your power away. You know, we've never been told how powerful we were as children. We've never been told how powerful our womb and our vagina is. Sure, they told us to close our legs, but they didn't give us the understanding of why we keep our legs closed. Because when you share yourself, you're sharing, there's a transference of energy. And even if they put on a condom, there's still that sweat going from your body to their body. There's still a transfer of skin to skin.
Yes, aura to aura.
Exchange. Right, there's still an energy exchange. So you're getting all, whoever they had, all those things. If you don't know your worth, then you got to get somebody who don't know their worth and not appreciate or even understand, because you don't appreciate or understand yourself. So once you come to this cycle, we're keeping these cycles going. We as sisters, we keep talking, well, he did. No, it ain't him, it's you. You chose him. Because if you don't want to be bothered with a brother, I don't care what he say, I don't care what he do, he can give you all the money in the world. If you don't like him, it don't matter. So when we choose these relationships, even with ourselves, we have to make sure that we're in a place of wholeness, or at least doing the medicine. Applying it, looking at ourselves differently. And when you look at yourself different, you'll have something healthy, because you'll be healthy. Even if you're not whole, just being healthy, a healthy mind and a healthy heart. Because when someone his mind and heart isn't together, that's the craziness that you see, because the heart and the mind isn't working together. So if your womb if you're not listening to your womb or your vagina, the portal and the gateway, if you're not listening to what you're being told, if you're not following that guidance, because the minute your womb starts talking, the minute you wake up in the morning, she might say, oh, well, so, whatever's going on, whatever she's feeling, she's talking. And if you're not trained to listen to that voice, if you're not trained to hear that energy, that's the part our worth and our worthy. So if you have daughters and you have children and you're around you, teach them to listen to that. Teach them who they are. Show them the beauty that they possess inside. Because I'm telling you, when I was going through my healing, what song brought me through my healing was The Greatest Love of All by Whitney Houston. I wrote that song out.
Yes. That song often makes me cry.
Yes, that song helped me, pulled me through the molestation, the unbirth. She said, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride. Listen to their laughter. She said, I decided long ago never to walk in anybody's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, it wouldn't take away from my dignity. I found the greatest love of all inside. So that was her legacy that she left us. That's the song that pulled me through.
Yes, I remember that song as a child, and I have always been very fond of Whitney Houston, and I've always admired her. And that song is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It is so powerful. And I just want to reflect on what you said about the mothers, the cycle. From my personal experience, it's, you know, my mother told me that when her menstruation came on, my grandmother didn't even tell her what it was. Like, my mother was freaked out. She thought she was like bleeding. She thought she was cut. She was like, oh my God. There was like there was no, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, baby, come here. Let's have a seat. I guess it's time for us to talk. There wasn't nothing. There was no nothing. My mom was like, grandma. Oh, I call her Nana. She probably flipping over. She had me call her grandma. I was just like, Nana ain't tell me like nothing. She just was like, girl, take this and stuff it down now. It wasn't nothing. So, of course, my mother tried to give me a better experience. She educated me on what was going to happen with my body, which happened very early, about 9 to 10 years old. And I was prepared for that. And I wasn't scared. I knew exactly what was going on. But that whole thing about just telling young ladies to keep their legs closed, and that's not enough. And I don't feel any type of way with my mother, but I know that she was trying to shelter me and kind of, you know, keep me away. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. But you're not telling me about when my menstruation comes on, like, okay, so I'm going to get these hormones, you know what I'm saying? My estrogen is going to go up. And so with estrogen, when that's going up, what happens is, you know, you're going to be catching these kind of feelings. A boy might cross your path and you're going to feel it some type of way. And you just have to, you know what I'm saying, not give into those feelings, because they just a little feeling. They're going to pass. But if you do decide to do that, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that this person is honoring you. Make sure that this person, you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. It's no guidance. And so then the lines of communication are not open, because, of course, I couldn't share my first sexual experience with my mother because I was ashamed, because she just shamed the whole ordeal. Even before that, when I just had a hug and I felt, you know, I felt them quickly feelings. I didn't know what that was I was feeling, but I know it was exciting me, and I was all giggly and happy. And she was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Nothing." You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even share that with her. And so I'm so grateful to be my ancestors' wildest dream, so I could break those vicious cycles, because I don't have any children yet. And I believe that when I do have a child, I strongly feel my first child is going to be a young woman. And I could be able to have this relationship with her where we're not friends, you know what I'm saying? But we have an open line of communication where she doesn't feel any shame to come to me about anything, and I can guide her in the right way, opposed to just saying, nah, you don't need to talk to no boys. Them boys are stupid. You don't need to talk to no boys. I was like, but my body don't feel like them boys are stupid. Like, what? I'm confused. No, it's wow. That is just, it is so important to understand that it's not about fault or blame or anything about like that. It's just about getting it right and getting it better and better and better each time. Each time, just get it better. Just each time get it better, because what you just sung, Whitney Houston said, the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead. That's another thing. We don't think children have a right to lead anything at all, period. We have to have our foot on their neck to protect them. And that's not right. And that's not true. They have their own karma, as you have said. They have their own life that they have pre-chosen to live out in this plane. And we are just simply here to guide them and to protect them, not to rule them.
Yes. When I raised my 2 sons, I allowed them to have choices and voices. And I would always tell them, be very cautious of whatever you choose, because for every action, there's a reaction. So you can determine what your life is going to be. I'm going to give you free will. I'm going to give you conscious choice. Now, there are certain guidelines that you have to follow. But because we don't, a lot of us can't make choices because we wasn't allowed as children to make choices. Now, there is a thing now. Sometimes I think we tell children a little too much, or they see a little too much too. So there has to be that line, that balance, that line of demarcation where you keep them as children. Because sometimes they grow up a little too fast. They got to take care of the other children, and they got to do this. They got to cook. There's nothing wrong with teaching them, but why would you have your children raising? Why don't you have your child, as a child, raising up your children? That's your responsibility. Now, they can help out. So we have to know that where the line is. They are children. Let them be children. She says, show them the beauty that they possess inside. Give them a sense of it. I've always told my children that they can be and do and have and go as far as they choose to, if that's what they choose to. But I also know there are some things that I didn't have men around my children. And at least about 4 or 5 years ago, I apologized to them for not being the greatest mother that I could be. I told them that, I could have been better. There's some things I wish I could have shifted and changed, but I apologized to them. And what I did give them was the sense of responsibility. So many of us don't give our children a sense of responsibility. So, and I told them about their worth, as much as I possibly could. But a lot of us don't have a sense of responsibility because we as children, we as parents, we don't allow them to experience responsibility. Right. Responsibility is that it means that I'm responsible for everything. My hygiene, my cleaning up after myself, being able to function. In this world as a productive, worthy, divine being. We are responsible we are responsible for our children. We are responsible. And like I shared about last week about the book when the mother came up in the broken shard. We are all pieces of that broken shard. Until we all come to, a lot of us not going to come back to God. A lot of us didn't come to be enlightened. A lot of us don't want that. But I'm okay with that. To the ones that do, you are worthy. You're beautiful. You're made in the image and of the likeness. You are we are a part of the mothers. We are part of this great grand rising of the matriarch. That energy is so powerful because there's nowhere that we cannot do. Like you said, a part of healing. If you just keep the sacred space, if you can hold the vision of who you are, hold the vision of who you are. Even if you can't just see it. When you can see it, you'll become it. But if you can't see it, you can't become it. That's right. That's right. And you hold a vision for yourself, you hold a vision for the next sister. And the next sister, I tell sisters all the time, we ain't got to talk on the phone every day. We ain't got to sip out the same straw. But when it comes down to get ready to do this medicine, let's get busy. We can agree to disagree. Like, you ain't got to agree with everything I say. I'm okay with that. Because if you have an opinion, I have an opinion, and it's okay. What happens when a sister disagrees? We get up, put our marbles in our pocket and go home? No. We're going to sit right here and we're going to communicate this out. Don't take your marbles home. Let's sit and reason this out. Okay. Sis, you got it going on. How did you, can you share some things with me? And be willing to share. Now, my rate, there's nothing wrong with getting paid for your work. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes, just to give a sister a word, sis, you can do this. Or I had one sister who couldn't do reading. She couldn't afford it. That's what I'll tell you what. You can't afford it. I'll give you a consultation. And that's what I did. I still assisted her. Sometimes it ain't about the money. If you see someone in need, what you gonna do? Well, you ain't got no money, so I can't help you. Really? That's not right. So I'm not saying that you are supposed to get paid for your work, but what do you give back? Wow.
when you said the challenge to making a decision, I thought about I Minister Solutions, one of his questions of the day, which was, is making a decision or decisions challenging for you without the assistance of others? And when we're talking about getting to the root of things, oh wow, that just put a light bulb in my head, because I could be very indecisive. And yes, that comes from not being allowed to make decisions for myself and having to most likely accept, even if it wasn't. Now I understand you make a decision, you don't want to make a child make a decision because it may put them in harm's way. But I mean just a real basic choice, like, okay, I don't want this to eat. I'd rather eat that. No, you gonna eat what I said you gonna eat. You don't even know like the makeup of the child's digestive system. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to find that out through human design, which is a whole nother thing. But just allowing them to make any type of decision, like you say, giving them that responsibility, that is a part of honoring them. That is a part of honoring them. And they will carry that with them as they go through this course of life.
Yes. Even now, I tell people now, as an adult, if someone asks me something, I say, let me get back to you. I try not to do anything rash. I try to sit on it before I respond and answer.
Mm-hmm.
If someone asks me something, because before I was, oh yeah, and then I was like, I didn't want to do that. Why I say that? So now,
don't fight me.
Because that means that if I sit on that, then I'm going to get the true answer that I need. Instead of just saying yes to say yes, and then you realize that there's something that you don't really want to do, and you just said it because somebody asked you, and you in that moment, you didn't let it digest.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm doing my medicine with sisters, I'll ask a question. And then I'll say, well, and they'll answer, I'm like, well, no, you answered that too fast. You didn't even let it sit and digest.
Yes. I think our fellow I Minister SEG 13, I could be incorrect, but I feel she may have something she wants to share before she closes our service.
Yes, I do have something to share. There was something that I Minister Ojeyemi said, and she said that she apologized to her children for not being a better parent. And I just wanted to say how powerful that is to be able to do that, to do that. Because so many, my mom, she's not able to, for whatever reason. And, we do have to give our parents grace because they're, everything is what it is for a reason. But to be able to say that, it is such a powerful gift that you give to your children to be able to really let them see that you are perfectly imperfect and that you've just been trying, and that how you feel about how they feel is important. And so I just wanted to say thank you for acknowledging your children and taking accountability, as a mother, and being able to teach your mothers how to mother. So it's a wonderful thing, and there's just so many different sides and so many different aspects to it. And it's just good to see that there is that. It's encouraging to know. I did the same thing in apologizing to my daughter as well. And it's a powerful thing when you're able to do that. So,
because when you see, because as you reflect back and you do your shadow work, you see us and say, oh, well, I could have did that a little bit better, or I could have said this a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It just allows them to see what you say, that you're imperfect, that you make mistakes, and you made some decisions that wasn't so great for them, but you did the best you could in what you had.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Paul was there.
Right.
So thank you for that.
Yes, I thank both of you for being here and holding sacred space. I give thanks to all of our fellow I ministers who are holding sacred space. We give thanks, and in turn, we also hold sacred space for our I ministers. We hold sacred space for our sisters. We hold sacred space for our brothers, those who are seeking to uplift humanity. And who is humanity? The mother, the birther of it all. And we are so grateful to be here with you at this time. We encourage you to go to our website, which is www.mastervibration13.com. Explore our website. Check out our videos. There's so much information there. I Minister SEG13 shares her story, her journey. Her and I Minister Solutions and family have been on a worldwide tour, if you will, spreading this healing energy. Come and learn about Orgone Energy, which is a game changer for the times that we are in right now. We thank you, thank you, thank you. Please stay tuned for our sacred service we will be providing with the 9-day chakra cleanse. It is powerful.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
If you're willing to put in a space, if you're willing, you won't be disappointed.
I say, if you're feeling the mission, please contribute to us via Cash App SEG13LOVE. That's money sign SEG13 Love.
I take hold of the energy and ride the frequency. My soul makes the melody of my life, so I must see. Every tune that comes through me brings balance to my being. I have the power to change the direction in me through sound. I have the power to change the direction in me through my mind. I am creation, I am animation, I am rise by the star. In all of the constellations, I am zip, heptazine, sponge, bounce, moxie, mojo, whatever you call it. I
Yes. Wholeness. Wholeness